ओके, नमस्ते। प्रार्थनया प्रारंभं करोमि। सहना भवतु, सहनौ भुनक्तु, सह वीर्यं करवावहै, तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। अस्तु, अद्य गतवासरे कक्षायां तु वयं पूर्वतनस्तरे, प्रारम्भिकस्तरे, प्रवेशस्तरे किम् आसीत् तस्य पुनरावलोकनं किञ्चित् कृतवन्तः. So we saw again what we were taught in the entry level pravesha. So today we are going to quickly run through the first lesson related material for the new level, and we start with the adjectives. The first lesson, typically the lessons have different segments, as you know. Each patha has different segments in a colorful way, some grammatical aspects, some story, and some subhashitas, some prahelikas, or puzzles. So this kind of colorful way, and there are some kind of word gathering sections where you learn some nouns and some verb forms and things like that. So very nicely compiled, makes it very tasty. It's not like one single thing boring running through, which is what makes this very interesting. तो यावत् शक्यं संस्कृते अपि पाठयितुं प्रयत्नं करोमि। संस्कृते मम तादृशज्ञानः नास्ति, यतः इतोपि अहमपि छात्रः एव, परन्तु यावत् शक्यं संस्कृते अपि पाठं कर्तुं प्रयतामि। अस्तु, लेट्स् बिगिन्। विशेष्य विशेषण भावः। विशेष्य विशेषण, they are pairs, right? Visheshya is a noun which is the target of some description, target of some elevated color addition. Okay, Visheshana is that color, that property, that elevation that we want to assign to the Visheshya. So they pair like that. Okay, so what is this bhavaha? That means that aspect of the pair of Visheshya Visheshana is being described in this lesson. Okay, how they reside with each other, what is their association with each other, like that. Okay, so in Sanskritam, we don't have a huge distinction between adjective and adverb. Okay, both are visheshanas for us. Okay, so a visheshana which ends up coloring a kriyapada will become a adjective in adverb in English grammar. For us, it continues to be visheshana. We can call it kriya visheshana, nama visheshana if you wish. You can call it nama visheshana when it is an adjective for a noun, and a kriya visheshana when it is a adverb for a verb. Okay, so that is said. Let's move forward. So finally, what is a visheshana? Is it a new type of word in grammar? No. A visheshana in Sanskritam is also a namapada. Remember, in Sanskritam, there are only two types of words. Well, there is a third type of word, but it's actually under namapada. So we can boldly say there are two types of words. One set is kriyapadas and another set is namapadas. Okay, so we call kriyapadas as tingantas because they end in ting pratyaya, and the namapadas as subantas because they end in sup pratyaya. But there are certain namapadas that have no sup variation, so you can consider them as fixed sup or supless. If you want to consider either way, that's fine. They are called avyayas. Okay, avyayas, they don't decline, they don't vary. So there are exceptions. Some avyayas sometimes can be used in invariant form or variant forms, but generally, like I said, like they have a fixated sup pratyaya is how you look at them. Okay, so visheshana is a namapada. Okay, is a subanta. For all purposes, it is also a subanta like any other noun in the sentence. Astu, agre saramaha. केचन उदाहरणानि अत्र प्रदर्शितानि विशेषणस्य विशेष्यस्य च सामान्यवाक्येषु प्रदर्शितमस्ति। नीलः मेघः चलति। मेघः चलति, क्लाउड मूव्स। कीदृशः मेघः? What type of मेघः? नीलः मेघः. Neela is used in the sense of dark here, okay, because in the sky, darkness is also perceived as ghada neela many times. Okay, so you don't have to take it as a blue cloud, you have to take it as a dark cloud, but nothing wrong if you take it as a bluish cloud. Okay, because dark blue is dark. Unnatah narikela vrikshah asti. Asti. Some verb they have thrown in here. We will not focus too much on that aspect. So unnatah narikela vrikshah. Tall coconut tree is there. Asti is there. Sa chatura balika. Chatura balika. She smart girl. Okay, clever girl. Chatura balika. So what is happening here? Just with these three examples, you notice. Neelah megah. Megah is a pullinga shabda. So that's why it is an akaranta pullinga declension like Ramaha. Megah. Megah, mego, megaha. Like that you go. Same way, because Megha is a pullinga shabda, its adjective will also be following that particular aspect. So it is also in pullinga declension, Neelaha. So if it was a feminine, it would have declined differently. For example, you look at Chatura Balika. Balika is a Strilinga Ekavachana Prathama Vibhakti, right? Girl. So Chatura Balika. Chatura is also in Strilinga Prathama Vibhakti Ekavachana. That is the aspect that we have to gather from this. Okay. So there are a lot more examples given. For example, Nagaram is a Napumsakalinga Shabda. Sundaram Nagaram. So Sundaram also tracks Nagaram like that. Not always, remember, it is always like you assume that it will end in a similar declension. Nagaram, Ram, like that. Most cases it declines in with a similar tail sound, but there are some complex nouns. For example, the adjective can be ikaranta and the noun that it ascribes can be akaranta. They may decline differently slightly. Okay, according to its table, it has to decline. Okay, it's not as if blindly because there is a akaranta namapada that it associates, that will also decline like akaranta. No, if natively that is an ikaranta, it will decline like ikaranta. Okay, okay, that's the important thing to remember. Okay, not always you will see similar sounds. Most cases for simple sentences you will see that. So Sundaram Nagaram. So though this ending is there, this is still in Prathama Vibhakti because it's Napumsakalinga Shabda Nagaram. Okay. So Sundaram Nagaram Bharate Asti in India like this. Katara Stri. So Katara, they have, because it's a new word, normally not encountered, they have given the help here, afraid. So some kind of half fear, half anticipation is the feeling of Katara. Okay, so Katara Stri Vepate. Vepate is she shakes, trembles. Okay, that's what. And it's an Atmanepadi. That's why it's running as Ekaranta. Vepate, like that. Kurute, Vepate, that form. So Strilinga, Strilinga, Katara, Stri. See here, there is a clear example. Stri is a Ikaranta. And Katara is a Akaranta. So it's not like Katari is 3, you cannot write. You must remember to decline it. Katara Shabda in its feminine form is Katara because it's an Akaranta Strilinga Shabda. So Katara Stri, like that it will go. If it is a Purushaha, for example, Kataraha Purushaha Vepate. So Kataraha Akaranta Pullinga Shabda Katara. Okay, like that it will go. And if it is a Napumsakalinga, Mitram, for example, it's a Napumsakalingam word, Mitram. So Kataram, Mitram, Vepate. Okay, the Katara also goes to Napumsakalinga, Akaranta Napumsakalinga, Kataram, Kataram, Katarau, Katarani, like that. Kataram, Katare, Katarani, like that it will go. Okay, same way. So Kataram, Kataram, Mitram, Vepate. So the fearful friend, he trembles like that. Okay, so let's just look at one more example here. Vidheyah chatrah atra asti. Vidheyah is a dependable, reliable, compliant, a good student type. So there is a good student here. That's what it's trying to say. Vidheyah. And if you want to negate that, you can say avidheyah. That's one simple way in Sanskritam. That's called nai pratyaya. So if you can pre-attach, you can negate the quality also. Avidheyah. Like that. Anuttamaha, Amalinam, Akatara, this kind of variation. Sometimes an is heard, sometimes a is heard, sometimes nakara is heard, like that. So the nai pratyaya works in different ways, but it's technique of very simply taking the adjective to the complete opposite meaning. Okay. Same like you do with verbs also, no? Na asti, na asti, we do. Same way. Huh? That is not like a nai pratyaya. That is a simple sandhi of na, which is also an avyaya. So it's available as an avyaya pada na. But you cannot say na videyaha chatraha atra asti will be a little bit more confusing than avideyaha, because avideyaha is a tight coupling with videyaha. Na videyaha, you may move the na to somewhere else and take wrong meaning. So you have to be very careful. Okay. So sometimes we have to use the correct technique. There may be 2-3 grammar options available. You have to use the best option so that the semantic is very clear. Okay, let's move forward. So what is the summary here? In the above sentences, the bold words are called adjectives, visheshanani. So natively, visheshana is a napumsakalinga. So visheshanani, visheshanam, visheshana, visheshane, visheshanani, phalam, phale, phalani. An adjective describes the qualities of a noun. We already saw that. So neela megaha, dark, neelaha megaha, dark cloud. Like that. Okay. So, continuing to read what they have summarized, in this sentence, as the word Neela qualifies Megha, it is called Visheshanam. Megha is the Visheshyam, the substantive. So, this is English grammar. There is no requirement for you to remember these kind of titles, but it's nice to also see that, you know, some terms of English grammar have been introduced to help those of us who come from that vector. So, Visheshyam. Note the following rule regarding the noun. Adjective relationship. So the between the two. Visheshya Visheshana Bhavaha. So that is the relationship aspect. Uttamaha Balakaha, Uttama Balika, Uttamam Pustakam. So now this fix the Visheshana as Uttama. Okay. And varied the noun to which it is associated to Balakaha, Balika and Pustakam. So how will it vary now? Uttamaha Balakaha, Pullinga application, Uttama Balika, Strilinga application, Uttamam Pustakam. Okay. So the adjectives take the linga of the associated word is what is clear from the examples. It so happens that everywhere in these examples they have simply used ekavachana, and so we are not seeing the other associations. Right now the study focus is on the linga association of the Visheshya Visheshana Bhava. In the above sentences, the words balakaha, balika, pustakam are in masculine, feminine, neuter gender. Accordingly, adjective uttama is in the same gender. Therefore, uttamaha, uttamam, and all that is grammatically wrong. For example, uttamaha pustakam, uttamam balakaha is a illegal combination. That's what they are showing. Similarly, uttamaha balika is an illegal combination, right? Study the following sentences. Couple of them will see Sundaraha Tarunaha. So now what they are doing in the number 2, now they are bringing in number, basically the plurality aspect. So now they are using plural examples. Sundaraha Tarunaha. So not only the linga, even the vachana, ekavachana, dvivachana, bahuvachana also gets impacted in the Visheshana by the same quality of Visheshya has to be tracked by Visheshana. Remember, Visheshya is the one whose properties Visheshana tracks. It's not the other way around, because in your sentence, what you really want to say is Tarunaha Tatra Tishtanti. You are not interested in directly saying Sundaraha Tatra Tishtanti. Tarunaha Tatra Tishtanti. Kechanaha Sundaraha Charunaha Tatra Tishtanti. So you have to also put that in plural. Similarly, Chaturaha Balakaha, smart, many smart boys. Nadim Taranti, the river they cross. Okay, swim and cross. Maybe in a boat, we don't know. Kruraha Mrugaha Aranye Viharanti. Kruraha Mrugaha. So cruel animals or dangerous animals in the forest. Saptami, Aranye, in the forest. Viharanti, they roam around. They move around. Vrikshe Uttamani Pushpani. Uttamani Pushpani. Very superior flowers. Vikasanti, they bloom. They open up. Dushtaha choraha. So many what you call bad bad robber, as if there is good one, but anyway. Arakshakat bibhyanti. So they are afraid of the bibhyati. Okay, so there is a suffix, we will see that later. So arakshakat bibhyati. So that is a Bahuvachana application. It is a little bit complex verb. That's why it doesn't have the anti ending. Okay. Dadati types. Dadati is also similar variation. So Arakshakat Bibyati. From the police, he gets afraid. That is the grammatical sense in Sanskritam, but in English you say they're afraid of the police.
Sir, excuse me.
Yes.
Is Bibyati is a plural form or singular
Yes,
form?
yes, plural form.
Okay.
Number 5 here, are afraid is plural form. See here, number 5 below. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
And you are saying, sir, that Mahoday, that even Dadati, the plural is also Dadati, is it?
Plural is also Dadati.
Dadati is the plural
Dadati.
form.
Dadati.
Dadati, that's a new word. Okay.
Dadati. Dadataha. Dadati. Something like that. It's a little complex verb. Okay. There are two alternatives available. Dadati/dadanti. Okay. There are two forms. At least there is some allowance, but I'm not sure about BP and T is being allowed. Right. Okay. That is past tense form. Dirgaha lataha vayuna kampante. So dirgaha, longish, long. Lata is like a climber, creeper. Okay. So tall creepers, they shake due to the wind, like that. Okay. Okay. Let's move forward. So I won't go through every single example. Please kindly revise every example, because every reading will help you. It'll reassert in the mind what's happening. Okay. So wherever here and there few critical words are there, they have tried to give the example, but you should always simply use an online dictionary when you don't understand something. Okay. So I just go to not the best, but it is good for us beginners, is what you call as spoken Sanskrit. Sanskrit.org. Spoken, SPOKEN SANSKRIT. It is Sanskrit, the English spelling of Sanskritam. .org. Okay, that site, it is nowadays filled with lot of ads, but it's still decent enough. You can put this shayate or something like that. If you start, as soon as you start typing, no, it will suggest. You can click and find the basic meanings, but it will take some time, because sometimes it gives you 100 answers. They all seem to have conflicting pryaya padas. So what to pick is always a thing, but at least it will help you to some extent. Okay. All right. So you should use the web resources. So in the above sentences, tarunaha, balakaha, etc. are in plural. Balike, grantau are in dual. So we skip the dual. So let's see one or two examples. See, granthalaye samichinau grantau staha. So good books, two good books. Granthau is two books. What type of books? Samichinau, proper, proper, useful, good. You can ascribe different things to Samichina. Proper is the most close. Okay. So proper books, two of them, like that. So Uttame Pushpe, two good flowers, two superior flowers. Okay. So that kind of thing. So in the above sentences, Tarunaha Balakaha are in plural, Balike Grantau are in dual, in Dvivachana. These are the substantives. So they are the nouns to which we are applying the colored word. Similarly, Sundaraha Chaturaha, Samichino Buddhimatyau, etc. are the corresponding adjectives. These adjectives are in the number, which means in the vachana of the nouns they qualify. If the noun is a dual, the adjective is also in dual. And if the noun is in plural, adjective is also in plural. You would have noted in the earlier examples that if noun is in singular, the adjective is also in singular. We had noted that. You have so far understood that the adjective and noun should agree in gender and number.
So, sir, one doubt, sir. Last one, ho, sauchika. Just can you clarify that?
Oh, Sauchika is a guy who teaches, tailor or somebody. Okay. So sometimes in our olden days, tailors were also the cloth sellers. They used to keep ready-made cloths behind them and used to buy them, right? Or maybe used to keep a stock of cloths and then you can select from that and ask to stitch something. So here somebody is coming to a tailor and say, Boho, Sauchika, hey, tailor, Sundarani Vastrani Santi Kalu, Beautiful clothes. Do you have them, right? Khalu is like Kim. Khalu, isn't it? Isn't so? It's more like affirmative. You do have them, right? Like that. Okay. Sundarani vastrani santi. So it's this first phrase is in Sambodhana Prathama. Boho Sauchika. Like that. Okay. Got it? Okay. We'll move forward.
Got it. Thank you.
So
Thank you, sir.
we saw 2 points now. So we saw that they track in gender, we saw that they track in number or the vachana. So let's see the third point. Besides these two, adjectives and nouns also agree in case. Case actually is when we say vibhakti in our grammar, right? That is whether it's in prathama, dvitiya, tritiya. This is the one that troubles us more than the other two. That's why they have put it in number 3 position, because always we struggle with our tables, right? The only way is after a while is to be having some memorization of some of the standard forms. That will always stand you in good stead. Initially it looks like childish, but it is not, okay? Because our brain has to have some kind of a blind lookup reference also sometimes to work. After a while, you don't need to remember them as tables. After a while, it becomes a habit. You will actually, your mouth will bring out the correct vibhakti without you consciously realizing I am accessing any table in my brain. Okay, so that's how it develops. If we were having 3-4 years, we were small children, there was no need for memorizing any tables. We could have kept talking, and the tables would have built in an unconscious, subconscious way. I would not say unconscious way, subconscious way, they would have built up in our head, like they do for our mother tongues, right? If somebody asks you, give me the Vibhakti table in Kannada, I will also struggle, but I know what to say in the exact context. So that's how it is. I can write it, remembering slowly, but I cannot speedily recite it because I have never memorized it like that. Okay. Besides these two adjectives, and also agree in case. Shikshakaha vinitan chatran ahvayati. So chatran is in dvitiya bahuchana. Chatra, chatrau, chatraha, chatram, chatrau, chatran, ramam, ramau, raman. Okay, dvitiya bahuchana. So they are in the karma position. Many students are in karma position. So what is the karma position for them? For the ahvana. Who is doing the ahvana? Who is doing the invitation? The shikshaka. So shikshakaha ahvayati. That's why ahvayati is in ekavachana to track shikshakaha. There is only one shikshaka. So shikshakaha ahvayati. Shikshakaha kan ahvayati. Who all he invites? Chatran ahvayati. Kidrishan chatran. Vinitan chatran. They are all not like us. They are all very docile, nice, with good namrata bhava. Those type of students. Okay, I'm just joking. Please don't take anybody seriously. Okay. Janaha uttameshu janeshu vishwasanti. So many people. Janaha is the subject. Janaha kim kurvanti vishwasanti. They apply their confidence. They rely. They depend. Vishwasanti. Okay. Keshu Vishwasanti, in whom do they rely or depend or apply their Vishwasa? Janeshu, in some people. What type of people? Kidrisheshu Janeshu. See, even the query word also is like an adjective. Kidrisheshu Janeshu, Uttameshu Janeshu. In good people. So it is in Saptami Vibhakti. Okay. So Vishwasa, Bhakti, these type of things, the thing in which we place the Vishwasa is in a Adhikarana position, because we say we place our Bhakti in Rama. Okay. So the placement means it's a location. So Janeshu, Rameshu, or Rame, if it is one Rama. So Rame Vishwasimi, I put my Vishwasa in Rama, like that. Okay. उदयमानस्य सूर्यस्य किरणान् दृष्ट्वा जनाः हृष्यन्ति. So there are two phrases here. Okay, दृष्ट्वा is the first kriya pada, but it is in what you call as krudanta position. It is not the dominant verb. It is the verb associated with the first phrase. Okay, so it is a past complete sense. Drishtva, having seen. So what drishtva? किम दृष्ट्वा और कान दृष्ट्वा, किरणान, तो कस्य किरणान, kirana is rays. Okay, so in karma position, kiranan drishtva, kasya kiranan drishtva, suryasya kiranan drishtva, कीदृशः सूर्यः अथवा कीदृशस्य सूर्यस्य, उदयमानस्य सूर्यस्य किरणान्. So the rising sun's rays having seen, janaha hrishyanti, rikara there, okay, not harakara. So hrishyanti. So drishtva janaha hrishyanti, they become harshitaha, they become happy by seeing the rising sun's rays. Okay, so the rising sun is not udayamana surya. If you do samasta pada, see, that's why we do samasa, it becomes simpler. You can say udayamana suryasya as one single long word. So you take out the sya pratyaya from udayamana, attach udayamana to surya and go udayamana suryasya. It's called shashti tatpurusha samasa because we have removed a shashti vibhakti and attached it. So udayamana suryasya, or we go udayamanasya suryasya. So this is very unique to Sanskritam. You will not find this in Hindi, Kannada or mother tongues. No, because our mother tongues are little stale with respect to doing this adjective tracking with the corresponding noun. Sanskritam is the one that does it very carefully, and it helps the language to build reasonably complex sentences. Otherwise, in Kannada, we have to kind of keep on giving explanation of what we mean, because who is subject, who is object, who is the possessor becomes unclear many times, the way we use vibhaktis. If we don't put it in the right order in the sentence, there will be chaos. Okay, chaos or whatever is the word. You will learn more examples for this in the coming lessons. So you have learned adjectives and nouns mutually agree in gender, number and case. See, okay, so they have tried to, Samskrita Bharati is kind to us. They have tried to not overload us with vibhakti examples for now, but they have given a few. Earlier ones, they were very detailed about linga, very detailed about vachana. They gave us a lot of examples. Okay, so but they want to slowly give you the additional ones also, but not hammer you now right away. So there is one nice sutram in grammar, in Sanskritam grammar. The various panditas over time have always helped us by creating nice sutras for everything in rhythmatic shlokas and all that. So there is a nice shloka for this aspect of grammar also. Yallingam yadvachanam yacha vibhaktihi visheshasya tallingam tadvachanam sacha vibhaktihi visheshanasyapi, like that. Okay, so yallingam, yat lingam, that is actually a sandhi. Yat lingam, whatever is the gender, yat vachanam, whatever is the vachana or the number, yacha vibhaktihi, vibhakti is actually a strilinga shabda. Okay, that's why ya comes there. Okay, yacha vibhakti, whatever is the vibhakti, visheshasya, of the noun to be described, tat lingam, tal lingam, that gender, tadvachanam, that number, sacha vibhakti, the very same vibhakti, visheshanasya api, of the qualifier to, of the adjective to, api is in the sense of also. Okay, so that's what is a beautiful one. Yallingam yadvachanam yacha vibhakti visheshasya tallingam tadvachanam sacha vibhakti visheshanasya api, you can include if you want or not. So it's very nice. So there are some abhyasa they give us, and what the one first abhyasa they have given is very straightforward. They have thrown some words at us and asked us to identify whether they are visheshanas or visheshyas. Okay, so as many of you who are interested in throwing in your weight can unmute yourselves. We'll try that experiment. Okay, and so you have to tell me, Neelaha, is this a visheshana or a visheshya?
Visheshanam.
Because it describes a megha or somebody. Okay, so it's a visheshana. Unnataha.
Visheshanam.
Visheshanam. Very good. Okay, very obvious, because unnataha balakaha, unnata mahila, like that. But here, of course, they have given one particular aspect of that visheshana. Vrikshaha.
Visheshya.
Visheshya, because you cannot say something, you cannot give it as a qualifier to something else, but you can qualify a vriksha as tall or something. So vriksha is a visheshya. So unnatah vrikshah you can say, but vrikshah clearly is a visheshyana. So it goes to this blue category. Ramah.
Visheshyam.
Visheshyam. Rama is a visheshyam. So it goes to visheshyanani stack. Okay. I don't know why I put it all the way there. Okay. Then buddhiman.
Visheshyam.
Visheshanam, because you can say buddhiman chatraha like that. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Chatraha. Oh, I just gave up the answer. It is a visheshya because you can actually say buddhiman chatraha. So like this. Okay. So
Yes, sir.
uttama
Visheshanam.
visheshana. Very good.
Visheshanam.
Chatura
Visheshanam.
visheshanam. Very good. Grihini
Vishesyam.
visheshyam because she is a home maker. Grihini. Like, okay. Balika visheshyam. Blue tag. Sundari
Visheshanam.
visheshanam. Sundari mahila like that. Okay. Lekhani
Vishesyam.
visheshyam because it cannot describe it as a quality of something else, but you can say Neela lekhani like that. Okay. Then malinam
Visheshyam.
visheshanam. Malinam vastram like that you can say. So malinam is clearly a red visheshanam. Phalam
Vishesyam.
visheshyam. Very good because it is a fruit and it's not a quality. It is actually the name of something. So shvetam
Visheshanam.
visheshanam is a quality. Just like neelaha, it is shvetam. Okay. It happens to be in napuksalinga. Remember, it can be other lingas. It can be shvetaha, shveta, shvetam, all forms, and in all vibhaktis. Shvetaha, shvetau, shvetaha. So a word like adjective like shveta has 21 plus 21 plus 21 forms. Can you believe that? It will have 7 into 3 pullinga forms, 7 into 3 napumsakalinga forms, 7 into 3 strilinga forms. So it becomes very important to learn your vibhakti tables. Okay, slowly. Yeah. So dwaram visheshyam. You can say bruhat dwaram. You can say like that, right? So dwaram unnatam dwaram, something like that. Vishalam.
Visheshyam.
It's a visheshana. So you can say vishalam dwaram, for example. So vishalam belongs there. Griham visheshyam. Very good. Visheshyam. Because you cannot say griham balakam something. You have to say unnatam griham, harasvam griham, something. Some small house like that. Okay. Brihat griham. Okay. So this was very good exercise. So now a few more. Okay. So you guys have to throw in some adjective for Lekhani. You can try in collective. Somebody can shout an answer. What type of Lekhani?
Uttama Lekhani.
Uttama Lekhani. Very good. See, Uttama Lekhani. Strilinga Ekavachana. See, one thing we have to quickly start doing in our mind is when we look at a word, we have to be able to identify its linga. Okay, because Lekhani in, for example, in Kannada or any Dravida Bhasha, none of the objects have a linga other than Napumsaka linga. So for us, a pen, a pencil, a flower, anything is Napumsaka linga. If it is not a person, if it is not some animal that is very dear to us like a cow, it likely is a Napumsaka linga Shabda. So we just use Napumsaka linga, but Sanskritam is complex. Okay, all nouns have their own natural lingas. But when they are adjectives, they can take other lingas also. So the noun has a native linga which you have to use. Some words have actually multiple lingas. You can use them in multiple lingas even as a noun, not just as a visheshana, even as a noun. For example, nagaram, nagari. 1 minute. Sorry, I had to cancel that call. So nagaram, nagari, like that, there are some options available, but most likely it will fall in one gender. So uttama lekhani. So couple of more we will try. So for pustakam, can you try something? Uttamam pustakam. Napumsakalinga ekavachana pustakam. Balikaha. Uttamaha balikaha. So the adjective is always uttama. You have to vary the vachana and linga and the vibhakti slowly. Uttamaha balikaha. Three linga bahuvachana. Pataha. It so happens that uttamaha sound is same in strilinga bahuvachana and pullinga bahuvachana, right? So though it sounds the same, that its prakriya is it is actually pullinga bahuvachana in this context. Okay.
Uttamani idu? What will come?
Uttamani pustakani. Uttamani,
Oh,
if you use,
patha.
then it is pustakani, like napumsakalinga bahuvachana. Got it?
Okay.
Very good.
Is
Grantau.
pataha pulling or
Pataha,
patam or
Pataha is pullinga. Pataha is
Pullinga.
pullinga. So
Pataha,
is
patau,
pullinga.
pataha.
Pataha, patau,
But
pataha.
can it also have a napumsakling like nagari,
Uttamani
nagaram,
pataha,
like that?
what will
Pataha or tata?
See in karmapada position it sounds like napumsakalinga. Most of us when we are learning we get confused between karmapada position and napumsakalinga forms. Okay, so we southerners, because we are so bad, especially in Tamil, we tend to take every Sanskrit word and make it sound like napumsakam. Okay. Patam, pustakam, manushyam, dream. Like we have such a bad habit. Everything sounds like napumsaka to us. No. You have to switch out that Dravida brain. Okay. So we have our beauty in our language, but we have to switch on the Sanskrit beauty and run in that world. Okay. And it's good for us because we become double experts. Okay. So uttamaha pataha. So pataha, patau, pataha, like somebody already said. Okay. So it is granthau. Uttamau grantau. Pullinga dvivachana. Sasyani.
Uttamani sasyani.
Uttamani sasyani. Napumsakalinga bahuvachana. See, I am giving this additional hint which has to run in your brain. Okay. Then pushpe. Uttame pushpe. Those who haven't tried, please try. Those who have got some answers, just stay quiet to see if the others will come forward. Okay. Uttame pushpe. Naryau. Everybody agrees with her. Uttame naryau.
No,
Nari, naryau. See, the nari shabda ikaranta has a au form in the dvivachana.
correct.
Uttama is akaranta, so it will sound uttame naryau. This is what I was alerting you guys about. Okay, so uttama doesn't change to uttamau naryau. This is the first error we do in the exam. Okay, we look at naryau, we know there is a form like uttamau, we without thinking apply uttamau naryau. What we have done, we have written uttamau like pullinga, and naryau is the strilinga dvivachana. So you have to know, that's why you have to know your tables. Okay, nari, naryau, narya. Okay, so it is different form. Okay, next chatraha. Easy.
Uttamaha chatra.
I have given this in number 1 position. Uttamaha chatraha. Tarunau. Uttamau tarunau. Very good. Very good, guys. You guys have done well. Now some match. What they have given slightly different type of exercise. This typically this tends to be little more confusing. What you have to do?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Please, could you explain why is it Uttamau Tarunau and not Uttame Tarunau?
Tarunau is pullinga shabda. Okay. So Uttama has to run like pullinga shabda. Uttamaha, Uttamau, Uttamaha. Naryau is strilinga shabda. So it has to run Uttama, Uttame, Uttamaha. Got it?
Okay. Thank you.
So you have to write the Uttama Shabda in all 3 lingas, all the 21 into 3, 63 forms. If you write, it will become easy to pick and answer. But we cannot write everything and look at it and answer in the exam. So we have to try and memorize the forms. Okay. So remember
So
that.
this could.
Yes.
Sorry, sir, but this could be Tarunaha or Taruni, right? I mean, it could be young boy or young girl. So for both,
Yes,
it would be
but
Tarunau, right? How do we know?
is only possible in pullinga dvivachana. Okay. If it is taruni, it will run like somewhat like nari. Taruni, tarunyau, tarunyaha, like that it will run. So in dvivachana, it will be tarunyau. Okay. So then we will write uttame tarunyau. Got it? Yakara also will be there. It is not tarunau. It is tarunyau. Tarunyau. Yakara is there. Okay. Tarunyau. Okay. Just like naryau has a yakara, same way. Okay.
And
All right.
yeah.
So Samichinaha. So first, I don't jump into answer. Please hold it. Please hold it. Please hold it. I want to help the others who are struggling. What's happening? What you have to do now is left side is all qualifiers. Right side is all the qualified. Basically, Visheshya is on the right side. Visheshanas are on the left side. Though what you have to see is either you have to look at one of them and then come to the other to pick. So let us stick with the left side for now. Samichinaha is a pullinga form, right? Ramaha types. So it is pullinga ekavachana. Okay, so keep that in your brain. Oh, I am looking at a pullinga ekavachana form of Samichina. So what is pullinga ekavachana in the right side? Lataha is not, Pushpam is not, Sainika is in Sambodhana, so it's not, Lekanyau is not, Katha is Strilinga, Balakaha is indeed Pratama ekavachana. So Samichinaha Balakaha matches. Like that we have to approach. Okay, Samichinaha Balakaha is the answer. Next, Alasau is a Dvivachana. Dvivachana Pullinga. So taka 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 taka. Lekanyau is Dvivachana, Tarunau is Dvivachana. Why not Lekanyau? Lekanyau is a Strilinga. Lekani, Lekanyau. So if it was Alasa, Alase will come. Okay. If it was for Lekanyau, it will be Alase Lekanyau. But luckily, Sanskrit Bharati doesn't want to what you call hurt us too much. You will never make a Lekani Alasa. Alasa is a lazy, right? So you cannot say a Lekani is lazy. Though if it is not spitting out the ink properly, you can say that. But no problem. You will never say Alase Lekanyau in your life. But you will definitely say Alasau Tarunau. Because modern youth definitely tends to belong to this category. So we can say that. So this is how we approach the match the following. So Dirgaha
Lata.
Lata. Sundaram
Pushpam.
Pushpam. Sundaryau Lekani is now useful because Strilinga. Sundaryau, Sundari, Lekani. Both are Ikaranta Shabdas. They sound similar. Sundaryau, Lekanyau. Shrestha because Strilinga Ekavachana, Akaranta Strilinga. Shrestha Katha. Mathurani Phalani. Very easy now. Okay, Madhurani Phalani. Dhira. Oh, apostrophe only. Hey, Dhira Sainik. So this is a nice example they have given. Even in Sambodhana Vibhakti, you can apply a qualifier. It's not normal for us to see that, no? We end up seeing only Hey Sainika, Bho Sainika, O Sainika, like that. But you can also address him with a qualifier. Dhira Sainika, Hey Dhira Sainika, like that. Hey bold soldier, like that. Huh? Beautiful example for us. So we have to learn at every opportunity. Okay, so earlier I said 21 forms, 7 into 3. But there are actually 21 plus 3 more if you include Sambodhana. But luckily, most cases of Sambodhana, only Pratama Ekavachana form only varies. Okay, Dvivachana and Bahuvachana forms are copycat of normal Pratama Vibhakti. So you have to learn 21 plus 1 roughly, 22 forms usually. Okay. Let's move forward. So what I have also annotated is the corresponding vachanas and lingas, but we pretty much know that. Okay. Now in this table, everything was in Prathama Vibhakti. That's why it was very simple for us to attack. Okay. But in the exam, they may mix us with some Vibhaktis also. But you should look at it as an opportunity because a Vibhakti will help us identify the right hand side even faster because you can quickly find out the same Vibhakti on the right hand side also. It gives us one more vector to find the answer. Really, I should look at it as an opportunity. So don't get flustered. Okay. So, so they have given one good and bad example as a pair to see. Janaha dharmikaha bhavantu, adharmikaha na bhavantu, like that. Okay. So, sorry, not good thing. Basically stating the same in a different way. For example, people, they should be dharmikas, they should be followers of dharmas. Okay. They desirably should be bhavantu, like that. May they be. It's a kind of a desirability aspect. So, adharmikaha na bhavantu. So, vidiling lakara. Adharmikaha na bhavantu. They should not be adharmikas. They should not be those who violate dharma, like that. May they not be adharmikas. So, but both are saying the same thing. So there is a different way. So this is that nai pratyaya I was talking about, the negation aspect. They are trying to build some practice for us. Okay. So balakaha, here the word is nidrashila. Nidrashilaha, right? Balakaha nidrashilaha. So it should be in pullinga ekavachana. Okay. Balakaha nidrashilaha bhavatu. How do you negate? I was saying the wrong thing, right? So you guys notice. I was saying the wrong thing. See, when I said balakaha nidrashilaha bhavatu, I am telling may the boy be sleepy. No, will anyone do that kind of ashirvada? No. Right? So balakaha adhyayashilaha adhyayanashilaha bhavatu should be used. Grammatically, I may be right to put nidrashilaha, but I have not given the correct tatparya of what is the intention. So balakaha adhyayashilaha adhyayanashilaha bhavatu. Nidrashilaha na bhavatu. So we should put nidrashila in the second side.
Mahoday, so here these are nidrashila, adhyanshila are all visheshanam, right?
Correct. Correct.
So it doesn't always have to precede the visheshyam. It can succeed also.
Very good, very good, very good observation. In Sanskritam, you can do that because the linga and the vachana and the vibhakti helps us to associate and track it. Okay. In other Indian languages, this doesn't happen. So we unless we position it accurately. In Kannada, I have to say nidra shila huduganu irali agali, like that. I cannot say huduga. In some places, simple sentence I can turn them around, but in a longer complex sentence it will become confusing. Okay, so yes, it doesn't have to precede, but most common thing to do is visheshana first and then visheshya right next to it. Okay, you can do moving around. Next one, chintanam dash bhavatu. Uttamam bhavatu. Adamam na bhavatu. Uttamam bhavatu, adamam na bhavatu. Vakyani
Saralani
bhavantu. So we are all poor students. Please give us simple sentences. Vakyani saralani bhavantu. Okay? Katinani na bhavantu. Okay, like this. Okay? So jalam nirmalam malinam. Chatraha No. Chatraha is pullinga bahuvachana. Uttirnaha. Correct. Chatraha uttirnaha na bhavantu. Okay. So here this is very easy. Dhiraha balakaha unnatim prapnuvanti. Which is the visheshana?
Dhiraha.
Very easy this one. I hope they will give questions like this. Unnataha vrikshaha udyane asti. Tall is the visheshanam. Sundaram mukha puta chitram mahyam rochate. Sundaram. What is this saying? May the beautiful face photo. The beautiful face photo. To me, it is liked. By me, it is liked. Mahyam. To me, it is liked. This is a karmani prayoga. Okay. Mahyam rochate. Something like that. Okay. Okay.
Passive voice.
Passive voice. Alasau balakau karyam na kurutaha.
Alasau.
Right? So the lazy two boys, the work they don't do. See, kurutaha is in dvivachana. So it is in dvivachana. So karoti kurutaha kurvanti. It's a tough verb, krudhato. But krudhato, if you mug up, it's very helpful because you can then put the other verbs in infinitive form and say krudhato. Like karyam karomi, bhojanam karomi, so dhavanam karomi, dhavanam kurutaha. Like that, you can go very cheap with using the other verbs. Okay. So krudhato, if you mug up all forms, it's most useful. So pakwani palani vrikshe santi.
Pakwani.
Yes. Okay. So like this. Now they have reversed and asked us to point out the Visheshyam. Very easy. Bhagavad Gitayam Uttamaha Vicharaha Santi. Who is the Visheshyam?
Uttamaha.
Tamaha.
No, Visheshyam.
Visheshyam.
Bhagavad Gitaya.
Vichara. No, not even
Vicharaha.
Bhagavad Gita.
Vichara.
Vicharaha.
Vicharaha.
Okay. The qualification is for Vichara. Uttamaha Vicharaha. Kidrishaha Vicharaha. What type of Vicharas? What type of discussions or subjects? Uttamaha Vicharaha. Superior subjects are there in Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita is not the one which is being qualified by Uttamaha. Nobody is trying to say here Bhagavad Gita is Uttama. They are saying the Vicharas in Bhagavad Gita are Uttama. Separately, Bhagavad Gita may be Uttama. But then you have to say Uttamayam Bhagavad Gitayam Uttamaha Vicharaha Santi. See the sentence? Uttamayam Bhagavad Gitayam, in the superior Bhagavad Gita. Saptami Ekavachana. Uttamaha Vicharaha. Prathama Bahuvachana. Uttamaha Vicharaha Santi. Okay. Now this Uttama I know to associate with Vichara. That Uttama with Bhagavad Gita. Okay.
Yeah.
Sajjanaha Purushaha Paropakaram Karoti.
Purushaha.
Purushaha. Because Sajjanaha is a qualification to the Purushaha. Okay. In a very weird sense, sometimes you can say Sajjanaha is the one qualified by Purushaha, but no. It usually the more base form we take it as the Visheshya. The more which is clearly unique, ascribing to that is the qualifier Sajjanaha. Because you can cancel Purushaha in this sentence and read it as Sajjanaha Paropakaram Karoti. Nothing wrong. Because in that sense, Sajjanaha is assumed to be implicitly a Purusha because it's in Pullinga Ekavachana. So we assume a Purusha Adhyaharana. We assume a Purusha. Whereas when you want to explicitly put it, the Visheshya appears. Okay? Agastyaha Unnataha Nasti. Agastyaha. So Agastyaha Nasti. Agastya is not there. Agastya is the one of the rishis who came down south to give us the Bodhana, right? So Amalakani.
Sorry, in
Yes,
the previous,
please. Yes.
yeah, in the previous one, why are we saying Agastyaha Unnataha Nasti? Why are we saying he's not? Unnataha is great, right?
No,
Unnataha
tall.
is tall. Okay.
Tall.
Agastya was
Not-
known to be a short
Yeah.
rishi.
Got it. Thank you.
Because he was very smart, he was short. Let us say that and move on. We'll not question everything. Anyway, Amalakani Amlani Bhavanti. See, Amalaka is the fruit, Amla is the taste. Okay.
So Amalakani is.
So Amalakani is the Visheshya, Amlani is the Visheshana. Okay. Somebody answered Amalakani, I think. I am assuming that. So that
Excuse me, sir. Sir, are there also adverbs in Sanskrit or are there only adjectives?
I very beginning only I was telling madam. It is
Sorry, I missed out
actually-
on the first 10 minutes, sir.
Oh, sorry, madam. So see, Visheshana in Sanskritam is both applicable in English grammar as adjective or adverb. Okay. When the
Okay, sir.
Visheshana qualifies a Kriyapada, like
Okay.
Tvaritam Gacchati. Tvaritam is going to the is a Visheshana for the Kriyapada. Madam, please, if you are talking, please mute yourself because let me mute everyone. Okay, so adjective and adverbs both are Visheshanas in Sanskrit. Okay, but right now all the examples we are seeing so far are Nama Visheshanas. Okay, they have not tried to hammer us with Kriya Visheshanas yet because there is a slightly different technique. Because the question that immediately comes to you, very good question actually, is we learned Yal Lingam, Yad Vachanam, Yacha Vibhaktihi. Kriyapada doesn't have Linga. Kriyapada doesn't have, it does have Vachana, luckily, but it doesn't have Vibhakti. So how do the qualifiers run for Kriyapada? So they are not hammering us with that grammar. So it will probably come elsewhere. We'll wait for that. Everything here is actually adjective as we know in English. Okay. Chaturaha Mahilaha Sukena Jivanti. Mahilaha. Very good. Chaturaha is the qualifier, Mahilaha is the qualified. So Chaturaha is Visheshana, Mahilaha is Visheshya. question is point the Visheshya, so that is underlined by us. Great, you guys have done well. Now this I will not spend too much time with you guys. So this one you have to read a few times. What I do is actually I read it into a small recording in my own mobile. Okay. And then I keep it as a series of recordings, and when I walk or something, I listen to them. So I read it out as Vyavaharika Shabdavali Pratamaha Pataha Shyalaha mother-in-law, Devaraha brother-in-law, Prapitamaha paternal grandfather, something like that. Okay. And I listen to it when I walk a few times, it becomes internalized, right? You don't have to, but or if you have the time, you can open this table and read it once loudly. Few times if you read it, it becomes internalized. Okay, don't read the first one, read the second one, wife's brother, husband's brother. That's more useful, because brother-in-law is not as descriptive as husband's brother, because Devaraha is very particular. So this kind of thing. So but I'll read it quickly once for pronunciation. Shyalaha Devaraha Prapitamaha Pitruvyaha Dauhitraha Prapautraha Bhagineyaha. Okay, Mahaprana Bhagineyaha Bhratravyah Pitravya. Okay, see, ya akara strilinga. Prapitamahi. See, Prapitamaha was pullinga, Prapitamahi is ikaranta strilinga. Position is similar. See, Prapitamaha was paternal grandfather, great grandfather. Prapitamahi is paternal great grandmother. Okay, it should have been great grandmother, because Pitamahi is grandmother. Anyway, Pitrubhagini, Pitrushvasa, various applications are there. Matrubhagini, Matrushvasa, Dauhitri, Prapautri, Yata, this is a strange one, Yata, sister-in-law. Okay. Nananda, okay, Nananda, little tongue twister, Vimata, stepmother. Okay, Mata, Vimata. Okay, so don't get what you call too flustered. You have to memorize so much. If you just glance through this and whisper it, don't try to silently read. Silent reading doesn't help much, because only one aspect of your brain is working. If you want to activate 3-4 centers in your brain, it is easier to speak it aloud a little bit. Enough loud to listen yourself, not to shout to the world, Shyalaha, wife's brother, like that. Okay, softly. So that is very important, because then not only your reading brain, your speaking brain and your listening brain, there are different portions in the brain. All three get activated and get associated. Okay. So that's important. That is why book reading silently is not as good as, especially when learning language. Okay, you maybe when learning science, I agree, but when learning language, speech and listening and reading, all three have to be combined. And writing, when you rewrite it, you take a notebook or type it in or something. Okay, it becomes even more, fourth level of learning gets excited. Okay, then 100% learning happens. It will be nice for you to take a sheet and write down also, nothing wrong. Okay, but when you write down, read loudly, say, hear it and write it. Don't write like a blind fellow. Write as if you are understanding it, listening to it, and then writing with the meaning understood. Okay, please. I might be saying very, very nursery like things, but very important for us. Next, they have this new segment called Chatu Shloka, witty sayings. Okay, this is a beautiful one. So our girls are always smarter than our boys. So this describes that very well. A learned man had a well-read daughter. She made a point of testing and learning those youths who sought her hand in marriage. So she was not wanting to marry anybody who was not literate. Once a prospective bridegroom came, his knowledge was limited to the declension of Rama Shabda, like me. Until some time back, now I have learnt a few more Shabdas. So Rama Shabda. Yet he thought himself as a learned man. The girl asked him, in which vibhakti are the words Vihasya and Vihaya? Like that. Okay. Vihasya, Vihaya, Ramasya, Ramaya, like that it sounds, right? So he was very happy. Oh, I know this. So the youth answered, they are in Shashti and Chaturthi. Shashti being Ramasya like Vihasya, and Chaturthi being the Vihaya, for the sake of Viha, like that. Ramaya, for Rama, like that. He put. Again, the young lady tried to give him another chance. Asked him, what is the case ending of aham? Very simple question. She descended. What is the case ending of aham? We know that aham, avam, vayam, pratama ekavachana. But no, ramam he thought, right? So he said, no, it is accusative case, Dvitiya vibhakti, like ramam. Remembering ramam in the accusative case. You know the answers given by the youth are not correct. Hopefully we know. In fact, vihasya and viha are not even known forms, right? Vihasya, hasanam kritva, vihasya, like that. So there is a what you call prefix to it, upasarga attached to it called vi, and then it is actually in a kridanta form, vihasya, having laughed. Okay, so it is a kridanta kriyapada form actually. Okay, and vihaya is also similarly for the sake of, like that sense is not there. It is having given up. It is actually avyaya pada, having left something. So for example, chatran vihaya pradhyapakah ekah eva gatavan. Okay, something like that in that sense. Okay, so indeclinables. So the though they say they are not known from subanta, remember the avyayas technically are belonging to noun set but not considered as a subanta because they have a fixated form. Lebanta avyaya. So they are kriyapadas which have become avyaya to lebanta application. Okay. So aham is not in accusative case but is in the nominative case in the prathama vibhakti. Aham, I. So this what. So she said to her father, she's so smart, she doesn't want to just go to her father who will scold her for not selecting this beautiful boy. She said to her father, Yasya shashti chaturti cha vihasya cha vihaya cha yasyaham cha dvitiya syat dvitiya syamaham katam. Beautifully she composed a beautiful verse to her father. Yasya, of that, whichever that fellow, shashti chaturti cha vihasya cha vihaya cha. Vihasya is a shashti and vihaya is a chaturthi for whoever that fellow. Yasya aham cha dvitiya. Of that fellow, the word aham is a dvitiya vibhakti. Syat, it is for him a dvitiya vibhakti. Dvitiya syam aham katam. How can I be second to him? How can I be his wife? So beautifully she composes. Okay, and also here in the first one also you can apply it. Yasya aham dvitiya, to whom I am second. See how beautifully she has composed. Even though the sense of the society is to say a wife is a second, she is not accepting that. Okay, yasya aham cha dvitiya, he thinks I am second to him. Okay, so he is going to be a type of fellow who will not respect me as equal. So that is also brought as a vyangyartha in the first part. Okay, so it's a beautiful verse, and so I'll read it once again just to memorize. Yasya shashti chaturti cha vihasya cha vihaya cha yasyaham cha dvitiya syad dvitiya syamaham katam. So this kind of thing. You don't need to memorize these things. You need to remember what is happening though clearly, these things. Okay, so that when this question is around this type of thing, you should know the answer. In a riddle, see another type of learning for us. Okay, some sentences are inconsistent when viewed superficially, but when another related sentence is put alongside to it in the context, the meaning of the former becomes clear. Shlokas that contain such statements are called samasyas, problems. Here is a samasya. Varshasya ekam dinam gauri pativaktram na pashyati. Okay, Varshasya ekam dinam, of the year one day, upon one day, Gauri, the lady Gauri, Pati Vaktram. Vaktram, okay, remember this word is not easy. Vaktram. We make a mistake always, even in the verse. You remember the famous verse on Ganesha? We always are taught and learn it as Vakratunda somehow. No, it is not Vakratunda. It is Vaktratunda. Okay, Vaktra. Okay, so Vaktra is face. Okay, Vakra is something crooked, but Vaktra is face, so different. Be very careful with Sanskritam.
Okay.
Vaktratunda Mahakaya. So Vaktratunda Mahakaya is, the face with a tunda. Tunda is the snorkel of the elephant. Okay, so the nose, long nose of the elephant. So one with a snorkel face, or basically with the elephantine face. Mahakaya with a big body. Okay. So Varshasya Ekasadim Gauri Pati Vaktram na pashyati. So don't read it as Pativratam na pashyati or something like that and confuse yourself. Look at the compound letters Samyut Akshara carefully. So why does Gauri doesn't see the husband's face one day? Most of us who know this particular vrata will understand this, right? There is this particular day, Chauti Ganesha day. We have this paddhati that the lady sees the Chauti Ganesha through a sieve, and then after that only she can eat and present the food etc. to the pati and all that. So North India it's very very common. South India it's not so common, but it's also coming here. So that is the samasya. So here the answer is this. Okay, Bhadra Shukla Chaturtyam. So in the month of Bhadra, in the Shukla Paksha, the Chaturthi day, fourth day of the moon's coming out of Amavasya towards Purnima. So Shukla Paksha is when he going towards whiteness, right? So he's going from Amavasya, the darkest phase of Amavasya, to the whitest phase of Purnima, that is Shukla Paksha. So in the fourth day, he is a thin moon. So that is when we call him what you call Chauti Ganesha, right? So Bhadra Masa. So Bhadra Shukla Chaturtyam tu Chandra Darshana Shankaya. So if you see the Chandra before you end up seeing this kind of thing, so there is a belief that if one sees the moon on the day of Chaturthi of Bhadrapada Shukla Paksha, she will get the blame of stealing something because of the fear of seeing the moon on Ishvara's head. For Gauri, there is this problem. She can't even look at her husband's face because Chandra is always sitting there and he is the thin crescent moon, which is like a Chauti Chandra. So she is having more problems than most ladies. She can't even see her husband's face. And to mimic this aspect, ladies do this also for their own husbands because they want to see the Ishvara in him. Hopefully he deserves that patta. And our modern Chandra is the loss of hair only, nothing better. Okay, anyway, we'll move forward. So Subhashitam. See, the third way of learning Sanskritam. 2 Subhashitams are given in every lesson. Okay, 2 Subhashitams will be given in every lesson. So the Subhashitam one is Ashaya ye dasyate dasa sarvalokasya Asha yesham dasi tesham dasayate lokah. The first thing you have to do when you see a Subhashita is some basic Sandhi Vibhajana you have to do. They have helped us here. So Ashaya with a Visarga missing is a Visarga Lopa Sandhi, we call it. So Ashayaha. So of the Ashas. Okay. So it is a Akaranta Strilinga Shabda Asha. So like Lata, Latayaha. So of Lata, like that. Okay. So Ashayaha ye dasaha te. So ye dasaha te. So whoever are the slaves of desires. Okay. Dasaha. See, again there is a sakaranta here. Dasas sarvalokasya. That is actually called Satva Shutva or of Visarga. So the Visarga changes to a Shakara Sakara like that contextually. So Dasaha is the broken form. Dasaha Sarva Lokasya. You can read it like that. Sarva Lokasya. This is a Samasta Pada. They have not broken it. Okay. Sarvasya Lokasya is the breaking, but you are not being forced to break the Samasa Padas yet. That is coming later levels. Asha Yesham Dasi. Very simple. There is no Vibhakti variation. Asha Yesham Dasi. The Asha who is the Dasi of whoever. So whoever has mastered the desire. That is the sense. Okay. So Asha itself has become the slave of somebody. of those people, tesham, of those people, dasayate lokaha, the entire world becomes their followers, like that. Because anybody who has overcome desires typically is a sajjana and worthy of following. Okay, so others will follow him because he is actually mastered the desire. So he will never act in a greedy way. So obviously there is no harm in learning from such people. So that's what this lesson is about. This Subhashitam is about. Ashayaha ye dasya dasaha te dasaha sarvalokasya. Those who are slaves of their desires, they are also slaves of the world, because they will do anything to earn. Bad, right? Ashaha, sorry, Asha as a Strilinga pada. Asha yesham dasi. So the lady desire, lady desire, we call her lady desire. The lady desire is the slave of whoever, of those people. The world is the follower. You cannot take it as a slave, take it as a follower of that person.
Sir,
Like, yes.
dasayate is what form? Atmanepadi or exactly?
Kurute, dasayate, like that. Okay, so it is like what you call Atmanepadi form. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
So
Those who are slaves of desire are slaves of the entire world, but those who have no desire, this English Tatparya is a little bit off. Those who have mastered their desires. Okay, when they have mastered their desire is actually a better way of putting it in English than who have no desire, because those who have no desire sounds like a fellow who is lazy, right? You don't want to make it sound like that. Those who have mastered their desire doesn't mean they're lazy. Have the whole world under their control is not a good translation. The whole world follows their example is a better translation. Tatparya especially has to be a little bit more correct in the corresponding language. If it is an anuvada, direct word for word, you can, like here I have done pratipadartha, it is okay. But pratipadartha, that same English sentence shouldn't be compiled into Tatparya. That will be a mistake. Okay, when we do that way, we are not doing service to English also. Okay, so you have to show your mastery in English also when you do Tatparya. If you are doing Anuvada, yeah, you can do dumb stuff. But even in Anuvada, it is possible to write better, the more Tatparya version also. Yes, somebody had a question. Some Mahila, please.
Mahoday, Asha Yah, is that Shashti Vibhakti?
Yes.
In this case, and
yes.
Dasaste, could you explain that again? I didn't understand
Dasaha
what
te.
Vibhakti that is.
Dasaha te. See, Sakara has appeared in place of Visarga. So dasaha te is the vibhakti breakup. They are the slaves. That is what te dasaha sahatau te they.
Okay.
Right? Te is they, and dasaha is bahuvachana of dasaha. So dasaha. So te dasaha. They are slaves, like that. Okay, got it?
Sir, excuse me. This
Yes.
dasa yate, can you explain again, please? Yate.
Don't take it too complex now, the verb forms. Okay, so just take the meaning for now and move on. Okay, let's not overanalyze the verbs at this point, because the focus of the lesson is not so much, but it is an Atmanepadi form. Okay,
Thank you, sir.
yeah. Sadhunam darshanam punyam tirtha bhuta hi sadavah tirtam phalati kalena sadyah sadhu samagamah. So this is another verse about sadhus or sajjanas. Okay, so sadhunam darshanam, of the sadhus, their darshana, their seeing them. Okay, of course, darshana just doesn't mean just looking at them. It means also obviously sitting in their savidha, in their sannidhi, and listening to their sayings, etc. Some pravachana. Right? So some pravachana when you attend of sadhu, that kind of implication is there in the darshana. Okay, so we sometimes take it literally and say, okay, look at his face and you collect punya. Like we look at a murti in the temple and say we collect punya. No. The bhava, the aspect of what the murti stands for, all those is darshana. So sadhunam darshanam punyam. So the visitation of the sadhus is a punyakara, is a bringing punya. Tirtha bhutahi sadhavaha. So the sadhus are like tirtha bhutas. They are like the embodiments of holy places. Okay. Tirtham phalati kalena. So the ability of us to visit a tirtha kshetra. Okay, tirtham phalana is the sense of tirtha kshetra gamana, to going of the tirtha kshetra, going to the tirtha kshetra. So tirtham phalanam is tirtha kshetra gamanam. That is the aspect you take. Tirtham phalati kalena. So our ability to visit Kashi or some Kashi Vishwanath or some other temple which we have always kept in mind, or some punya kshetra, is not something that will fructify tomorrow, right? Kalena, it may take time. We may have to get the opportunity, get the resources to do it, and then we will be able to do it. But sadhus tend to be there if you look for them carefully, many places. Sadhu samagamaha tu sadhyaha eva bhavati. So the meeting with the sadhu, the ability to listen to their pravachana can happen fairly quickly. Sadhyaha is fairly immediately. Right now is the sense of sadhyaha, but it's in the sense of today, tomorrow, right? Okay. So this is trying to tell us that don't postpone your aspirations for having good things done. Try to find the closest opportunity and take benefit from that. That is not too different from the actual larger benefit one may gain from something more tough to do, right? That sadhunam darshanam punyam tirtha bhutahi sadhavaha. So why sadhus darshana punya? Because they are like tirtha bhutas. They are embodiment of the tirtha kshetras. So that's the sense. So you guys read and look at word by word and all that. So Tatparya is much better here. People go on a pilgrimage for it is considered holy. Meeting pious men is as meritorious as visiting pilgrim centers, perhaps even more. They have given some utpreksha. Okay, because the fruit of visiting holy places is got only after a long time, maybe in the next birth also. But the very sight of pious men, which should be fairly easily possible, not tougher and tougher nowadays, cleanses men of all sins. Where in Sanskritam, the Pullinga usage is just a habit. Please read everywhere men as people, people, people. Okay, so all the sins and brings merit at once. That's why in Tatparya also try to avoid Pullinga transfer. Try to use generic transfer. So meeting pious people, people can be male or female, as meritorious, willing, pilgrim, etc., etc. Similarly, here cleanses people of all sins. Brings, so when you use people, the linga disappears. And in Sanskritam, because we are using pullinga, doesn't mean we mean only sadhus are always purushas. No, no, no. Sadhvi is also there very much, right? So when we use, generally we use pullinga as a generic reference. Okay, all right. Padasangraha, vocabulary building they do for us. So we have some time. So we'll keep moving forward rapidly. So here again, you have to apply yourself to learn. Every lesson in 1 through 10, they have given 3 to 4 verbs. Okay, and given different forms of the verb. In the first lesson only, they have tried to explain in detail the forms. Okay, so the first lesson we have to read it in detail. That's why they're in more detail. Later on, you will see only this table appear. Okay, as far as I recall, I am not remembering every page. As far as I recall, they will pick 4 or 5 verb roots and give all the standard forms of it. Okay, not every single form. A verb has thousands of forms, but the most useful ones at the entry level they have given. Okay, and typically it's like a prototype. So there are some 9 forms, right? 1 through 9 forms. So every single verb in those 9 forms they have tried to give. Okay, and over these 10 lessons they have tried to give different types of dhatus, the atmane dhatus, parasmai dhatus, and all that. Okay, so we can get a little bit of color of different variations also. So we can go back here and quickly look at what they have explained. Let me rapidly read this through. What I'm doing, you may wonder, why is he reading everything? I will read myself, etc. What I have found is, even for my own students whom I have taught in the past, they don't make time, sit down, open the book, read. I hope you guys don't do that mistake. Almost 40 of you are here. That's very nice. Please, just like you do some puja on a set time or something, call this a puja type of work. And say, okay, Monday morning, 8 o'clock is my Sanskritam time. I'm going to open the book, not get distracted. I'm going to read a lesson for 1 hour, 2 hours, whatever you give for yourself. Okay. Whatever, however much you cover, I'm not worried. But you have given 1 hour honestly to that cause will teach you. Okay. So now I know that because this class is scheduled, it is now like, little bit forced on you guys. Oh, there is this fellow trying to help us. Let us honor him and attend the class. So you guys are sitting. So I'm trying to cover as much syllabus as possible to give the same benefit as sitting yourself. But you can bring that benefit to yourself other times also to read, because I will not be able to go up to the nth lesson like this. To some extent, we will go like this so that you get the abhyasa, and after the abhyasa, hopefully you will give the time for yourselves. Okay. The roots of verbs are called dhatus. Dhatavaha is plural form of dhatu. So the various forms can be derived when suffixes of various kinds are added to the root. So suffix is a pratyaya. Okay, pratyaya is the technical term for suffix in Sanskritam. So the pratyaya that is normally applied to a dhatu is called ting. One of the forms is called ting pratyaya. Okay. Beside the ting pratyaya, see, ting is the nasal kakara. Ka, kha, ga, ga, nga, nga, like that. Ting, like that. Okay. There is no gakara emerging fully. We just say ting like that. Suffixes are also called krit. So there are 100 and odd krit pratyayas. Amazing number of krit pratyayas. Sanskritam is extremely rich. You will never find a language richer than this language. Imagine hundreds of krit pratyayas to form different types of derivations from the verb roots, right? So we learn the 3 plus 3 plus 3, 9 forms typically. Sometimes if it is a Ubhayapadi, both Atmane and Parasmai, then we have to learn 18 forms of ting for every dhatu. And then dhatus are in 10 different ganas, and according to the gana, the ting pratyaya forms vary, right? So there are like 10 multiplied by 18, 180 forms of ting. Though the genesis is from 18 root forms, they end up becoming 180 different forms. But that's not all. There are hundreds of krit pratyayas. And whenever you do krit pratyaya, again you end up with either an avyaya or a namapada. And if it is as regular namapada, it will have 21 forms. So every some kridantas can have 21 forms. My God. So then sometimes you have to apply it in lingas, Strilinga, Pullinga, Napumsakalinga. Immediately it explodes to 63 forms. So every krit pratyaya, sometime a given krit pratyaya can have 63 forms. Like this explosion happens. That's why one dhatu can lead to thousands of forms. Okay, very quickly. So, but luckily, that's why the grammar comes to help. We cannot look at it as thousands of things to learn. No, we have to look at it as 21 forms to learn, 3 lingas variations to learn, 63 forms slowly. Many similarities will be there. So we use the overlaps, and like that we go. Okay. Napupusa linga we know, all other than Pratama Dvitiya Vibhakti tracks the Pullinga. So straight away 63 collapses to some 40 odd forms. Like that, we get help. It's not explosive. The forms that are thus. Yes, madam.
Initially you told us there is Tingant and there's Subant, right, for Kriya and Namapadam.
Yes.
So Krit pratyayas, they come under which category?
After Kridanta is applied, the verbs become either nouns or they become avyaya padas. Okay. The vihasya, vihaya, you remember that?
Yes.
That's all. They become lyabanta avyaya, we call it. That is called lyap krit pratyaya. Lyap is the pratyaya we add to the has dhatu. Okay, I am assuming it is has dhatu. Okay, so that's how it is changing to a avyaya pada. But another type of kritpaya, for example, gatavan, gam dhatu is applied with a krit pratyaya to make gatavan. Okay, okay, that is called ktavatu pratyaya. Gatavan is a ktavatu form, we call it ktavatu. Okay, so that when the ktavatu kridanta is applied, so there are 100 plus kridantas. Remember, ktavatu is one type of kridanta. So when I apply ktavatu to gam dhatu, it becomes gamat, like that, like gam plus tavat. There are some elisions happening, some cancellations from the ktavatu happening. So that kind of form will emerge. For pullinga, it will be like gatavan is the prathama ekavachana form. So gatavat is the pratipadika. Gatavat is the napumsakalinga pratipadika. From that, the pullinga gatavan comes, and the napumsakalinga the strilinga gatavati also emerges, and the napumsakalinga remains gatavat. Okay, gatavat, like that it runs in napumsakalinga, but gatavan, gatavantau, gatavantaha, like that it goes. And similarly, gatavati, gatavatyau, gatavatyaha. So ikaranta strilinga forms. Okay, nakaranta pullinga forms. If you know the tables for nakaranta
Yeah.
pullinga, takaranta pullinga gatavat forms, you are in business. Okay, so that's how it works. Some kridantas luckily don't explode to full namapada forms. They become a avyaya pada, like gatva, kritva. Same gam dhatu with a ktva pratyaya, lyap pratyaya. They become simpler avyayas like gatva, having gone. Gatva doesn't vary anymore. There is no gatvaha, gatvan, nothing. So gatva is the only form. Okay. So Ramaha gatva agacchati. Ramaha vanam gatva punaha ayodhyam prati agacchati. Having gone to the forest, he comes back to Ayodhya. These kind of things. Okay. In the so let me continue reading. In the subsequent lesson, we will introduce you to frequently used kridanta forms also, participles. Kridanta forms are called participles in English grammar. Dhatuhu, pat dhatu. They have used the example to read. The first thing they have given is the lat lakara prathama ekavachana. That is basically the present tense. Okay, third person ekavachana, third person singular. Okay, patati. So Ramaha patati, Saha patati, Radha patati, Sa patati. Pustaka doesn't read itself, so I should use Mitram patati. The friend reads. Okay, so Mitra is the subject, but he is an Napumsakalinga Shabda, so Mitram patati. Never use Mitraha and all that. Mitram. Okay. Then next, what they have given is what we call Karmani form. The same patati is called the active voice form. So Ramaha pustakam patati. Rama, a book he reads. Pustakam is in Dvitiya vibhakti there. Okay. It also happens to be Napumsakalinga Shabda, but it is in Dvitiya. Pustakam sounds the same in Prathama and Dvitiya in Napumsakalinga. Pustakam, pustake, pustakani, pustakam, pustake, pustakani. But in the sentence Ramaha pustakam patati, pustakam is in Dvitiya position. Remember that, because it is the object of reading. So patati. Now I can say the same sentence. Ramena pustakam patyate. Ramena pustakam patyate is called the karmani prayoga, is the passive voice. By Rama, the book is read. Now what is happening in this sentence? Ramena is in Tritiya vibhakti, by Rama. Then pustakam is in Prathama vibhakti. Though the form is same as the earlier sentence, it is in Prathama vibhakti. Pustakam patyate, the book is read passively. So the book becomes Prathama, though it is a karma pada. Remember, karma pada is not always Dvitiya, Kartrupada is not always Prathama vibhakti. Only in active voice, Kartrupada is in Prathama, karma pada is in Dvitiya. In passive voice, Kartrupada is in Tritiya vibhakti, karma pada is in Prathama vibhakti. Don't associate vibhakti strongly with the Kartru karma. Okay. In active voice, that is true, but in passive voice, you see the reversal happening. Prathama vibhakti goes to karma pada. Tritiya vibhakti is assigned to kartru. Ramena pustakam patyate. The fact that he is the kartru is not changing for the patana kriya. He is still the fellow who is doing reading. Pustaka is still the karma pada, but in karmani prayoga, Ramena pustakam patyate. The vibhaktis change. Okay. So how do you recognize karmani prayoga? Typically the karmani verbs end with like atmanepadi verbs. Okay, the te, karale, kurute, like that. But there is one more additional variation. It will usually also, it will have yakara there. Okay, it's not like patate, it is patyate. So yate sound comes. Okay, patyante, plural. Okay, patyate, patyete, patyante. It runs like Atmanepadi verb. In fact, it uses the so-called Atmanepadi tingantas. Okay, but it also has this in between yakara insertion to identify the karmani form of what the dhatu actually, which was a parasmai dhatu, patati. Okay, patishyati is the future tense form of patati. Okay, so the first patati was lat lakara and patishyati is a future tense form. I am forgetting the exact title of the lakara. Okay, don't worry about the lakara title for it. So it is also a tinganta form. All these are tinganta forms, except you remember this one is in the karmani mode. Okay, and patishyati is the future tense lakara, patishyati. So in future somebody reads Ramaha pustakam shvaha patishyati. Tomorrow he will read. Like patitavyam, must be read, should be read. Tavyat pratyaya. Tavyat kridanta. So pat dhatu tavyat kridanta. What is the sense it is conveying? Must or should is the sense it is conveying. Okay. Pataniyam is an alternative available. Aniyar pratyaya it is called. For this particular color, there are two types of kridantas, tavyat kridanta and aniyar kridanta. When you use aniyar, it sounds like niya like that. Pataniyam. Okay. So patitavyam like that. Okay.
What is the
This-
difference between patitavyam and
No difference. Okay.
pataniyam?
They are, like I said, they are aliases of each other. The meaning is same. Ramena pustakam patitavyam. Ramena pustakam pataniyam. No difference. Okay. By the book should be read by Rama. Both of them convey the same tatparya. Patitaha, patita, patitam. The three forms of kta pratyaya. This one is called kta pratyaya. Okay. Patitaha was read. So this kta pratyaya, when you apply to a verb, conveys a past tense form, but it is associated with a person's linga. So Ramena patitaha, Sitaya patita, and Mitrena patitam. Like that you have to say. Okay, you have to go to the linga of the noun.
Sir, it is
Patita. Sir?
Patitaha is Tinganta or what is Kridanta?
It becomes a tinganta. It becomes a subanta in the end. It starts as a dhatu, pat dhatu. It gets a kridanta tail, so there is no thing. There is no thing playing. Okay, it is a kridanta, but it is also a subanta. Kridanta happens first, then a subanta gets attached. You see the thing? Pat plus kridanta plus subanta. Okay, pat plus ktak pratyaya plus whatever is the subanta pratyaya for the pratama ekavachana, patitaha, pullinga. Okay?
Okay.
Su pratyaya, actually su is the first pratyaya, right? So su, like sup. So patitaha, patita, patitam. The su pratyaya appears as taha, aha in pullinga, a in strilinga, and in napumsakalinga for this kind of anta, for this pratipadika. So, next, so that is kta pratyaya, kridanta. So number 4 was tavyat aniyar, number 5 was kta kridanta. So number 4, 5, 6, they are all kridantas, but different types of kridantas. Some popular kridantas they have given, like I told you, there are hundreds. They have given 4 or 5. That's all. Okay, they are not tiring you. Patitavan. So this is ktavatu. This is kta. This is ktavatu. So kta pratyaya typically gives karmani type of sense, and patitavan, patitavati, ktavatu pratyaya, which gives the sense of active voice for the converted verb. So Ramaha pustakam patitavan. Rama, the book he read. But what it actually is saying literally is Rama was the fellow who became the fellow who read the book. Is the extended meaning of patitavan. The fellow who read the book. But in simple translation, you can read it as Rama read the book. Simple. Okay. And Ramena pustakaha patitaha. Okay, like that. Okay. Pustakam patitaha. Like that. Actually, pustakam patitam. Sorry. See, that's why I have to choose the correct one. Ramena pustakam patitam. Okay. Like that you have to go. Okay. Grantaha patitaha. Grantha is a masculine word. So Ramena Grantaha patitaha. Okay. So for example, if something else is in Strilinga, Vani. Okay, let us say Vani is written down and with it's an illegal application, but let's say
Shloka is Strilinga.
Shloka patitha, maybe Shloka, maybe Strilinga is possible. Yes. Ramena Shloka patitha.
Bhagavad Gita patita, sir.
Bhagavad Gita. Thank you, sir. So beautiful. See, I have excellent students here. Ramena Bhagavad Gita patita. No confusion. Ramena Grantaha patitaha. Ramena Pustakam patitam. Right? That's why the Linga Beda of So patita is not depending on Rama at all anymore because of Karmani. So it is following the Karmapada's variation. Karmapada is what? Either Bhagavad Gita or Grantha or Pustakam. So accordingly it follows. But here in Patitavan, it is following Rama. Ramaha Pustakam Patitavan. Ramaha Grantham Patitavan. Ramaha Bhagavad Gitam Patitavan. What is happening to Grantha and Pustaka and Bhagavad Gita? Going to Karma position. So Dvitiya Vibhakti. Bhagavad Gitam, Grantham and Pustakam. Right? That's why they sound almost similar, but they are actually all in Dvitiya Vibhakti of the corresponding lingas. Okay? So remember that. Similarly, Patitavati for Strilinga. So Sita, if I use Sita instead of Rama, I'll have to use Patitavati. Pathan, yes.
Patitavati, it is a Katrupadam. What is that? It is not a Karmani Prayogana. It is a
no, active voice. Like I told you, Ta Pratyaya, the Patitaha, Patita, Patitam forces passive voice. Patitavan, Patitavati forces active voice. Okay, just like Ramaha Patati types.
Okay.
So Ramaha Patati can be put in past tense as Ramena Patitam, okay, in passive voice, or as Ramaha Patitavan in active voice. Okay, past tense. Both Patitam and Patitavan are giving past tense conveyance. So that is why Kridantas are very useful. They help us to have simpler verb forms for past tense and all that, both in passive and active voice. That's why they are very popular. This Kta Pratyaya and Ktavatu Pratyaya, they are very popular. Especially Samskrita Bharati loves them because it makes it easier to bring up people in tough sentences. Because past tense has to be used, but if you use apatitam, apatitaha and all those things, it starts twisting. Especially in Uttama Purusha and all, it becomes a little more tough. See here, Patitavan, what is the beauty? I will show you. It starts benefiting you. Ramaha Patitavan, Aham Patitavan, Tvam Patitavan. See, Ramaha, Aham, Tvam, everything goes to Patitavan. Okay, that is the benefit of Patitavan. There is no special form of Patitavan for Aham. There is no special form for Tvam. Okay, so you can now use it in different Purushas also. Okay, Prathama, Madhyama, Uttama Purusha also you can use it. So next, okay, sorry, I am now overstretching my time, but I will take a few more minutes because I want to finish this vocabulary lessons, at least for this verb. So, Pathan, Patanti, this is called another Kridanta form where it is in the continuous mode. Okay, when there are two actions you are doing, okay, you have to say while doing action 1, you are doing action 2. This is like software. So while doing action 1, you are doing action 2. Then you have to use this Kridanta form, Patan, Patanti forms. Okay. So like for example, Ramaha Pustakam Patan Agre Gachati. Rama, as he is reading the book, he moves forward. Nobody advises anyone to do that, but our normal Rama in the street, Ramaha Mobilam Patan Agre Gachati. Drishtan Gachati, something like that. So that kind of thing is where current continuous tense is brought. Patan, Patanti. Yes.
This verb comes first. Patan.
Yes. Well, it's not like first next. Okay. This verb is being done and then another verb is being done. The other verb is the active verb in the sentence. Okay. Rama Gachati is the active verb, but Katham Gachati, Pustakam Patan Gachati. So reading the book, he walks. Okay, like that. Okay.
Sir, can we say that the karta is the same in this case?
Karta is same. Very correct. Karta is same. Right? Correct.
Thank you.
The verb has to be enacted by the same karta for this to make sense. Yes. Somebody else has a question?
Yeah, so this will always come with another Kriya Padam. It will not be a standalone
yes,
Kriya Padam
correct,
itself.
very correct. So at least you will have the so-called asti for Kriya Pada. Okay. Suppose you have to say only one action but put it in current continuous mode. Ramaha pustakam patan asti. Rama is going on reading the book. That sense. Okay. Patan asti. He's really not doing anything else, but somebody is always doing at least one more thing called being, right? Rama is reading the book in English. Is a verb. Reading is another verb. Reading is in current continuous form. Is in the completion form, right? So Rama is a sentence. Rama asti. Ramaha asti. Rama is. Ramaha katam asti. Pustakam patan asti. Reading the book he is. Okay. Ramaha pustakam patati is simply he reads. It doesn't convey the continuous nature of the patana. If you have to convey the continuous nature of patana, the better form is Ramaha pustakam patan asti. Reading he is. So you have to throw the asti verb. Okay.
Understood. Thank you.
Patitva prapatya. This one is tvanta. We call it tvanta. And this is having read. So this is in the English sense. After doing a certain verb, the second verb is done. That is when you use the tvanta and lebanta like this. So patitva. Actually, I'm not sure it's lebanta. It's not lebanta. It's prapatya. It's another type of. Let me don't depend on the title of the kridanta I'm giving. Just look that as the anta. Tvanta.
Lapanta.
So okay. So patitva, having read. Okay. So Ramaha pustakam patitva gachati. What is the difference between patan gachati and patitva gachati? He finishes reading the book and then he goes. Good boy. Rama is a good boy. So Ramaha pustakam patitva Nantaram is not there in Sanskritam. Anantaram agre gachati. Anantaram he goes. Afterwards he goes. So Ramaha pustakam patitva gachati is quite different from Ramaha pustakam patan gachati. Okay. Patan gachati has the sense of doing both the going and the reading together. Patitva has the sense of completion of the patana and then going. Prapatya is another form of similar alias, having read like that. Okay. Patitum, in order to. So this is the intentional verb. Okay. Patitum gachati. Ramaha shalam patitum gachati. Rama to the school. To read he goes in order to or to. So this is a sense of a future. So in order to do verb 2, he does verb 1. In order to in order to do verb 1, he can does a verb 2. Don't remember the number, doesn't matter. In order to do a given verb, he does the other verb. So in order to read, patitum gachati. In order to read, he goes. Kutra gachati? Shalam gachati. Grantalayam gachati. Griham gachati. We don't know. In the forms shown above, the first two are kartari, active voice, and karmani, passive voice respectively. So already we learned that. The rules of the active voice are given in Pravesha lessons. Study them again. Rules of passive voice will be given in the coming lessons. So a lot of the coming lesson is about passive voice. So we are going to learn that. Third form is of the future tense, patishyati, will read. The forms from the fourth onwards are important kridantani, important participles of the dhatu pat. So this much we knew already. I'm just reading quickly. So then there are lots of sentences of the thing we have already learned. So you guys practice this. I have already applied some sentences while going through the pat dhatu. There are more examples. It will clarify your brain very well because they have varied it with linga, vachana and all that to help you. Okay. So and they have given the English, so there can be no confusion about the meaning. Sometimes the English sentence has to be taken with a pinch of salt. I have found slightly imperfect forms in English, but take it as Butler English. Okay. So that's okay. You can put it in even better sense in English, but we Indians know how to read both Butler English and good English, so we can do the correction. Okay. Okay. They have, see here, this is useful. Sentences from 4 to 9, those 5 forms contain the participle forms. Of these, 4 and 5 are in passive voice, 6 and 7 are in active voice, 8 and 9 are indeclinable participles. Like this, they have given very clearly. Okay, so follow that. I hope they have titled it correctly. 4 and 5 are in passive voice, 6 and 7 are in active voice. 4 and 5 are in passive voice. Ramena
What does the
patita.
last sentence mean, Mahoday? Participles found in sentences 4, 5, 6, and 7 are declined in all genders, numbers, and cases.
Yeah, when it doesn't, see, some kridantas, like I told you, generate avyaya. Then it doesn't decline. Declension means to vary according to vibhakti. Okay?
Right.
Vachana.
Yeah.
Now, some kridantas, luckily for us, they are beautiful kridantas for us, they generate one single form of the dhatu called avyaya kridanta. Okay? So that kridanta avyaya now doesn't decline. So just use it like kritva, gatva, like that. Gam dhatu only goes to gatva with that tvanta. Okay? That's it. But some of them are little bit tough on us, like the gatavan, gatavati, those forms, they are actually having 21 forms. Gatavan, gatavanto, gatavantah, gatavantam, gatavanto, gatavantah, gatavantaha again. Yeah. So it starts needing practice. You need to go to a takaranta pulling a gatavat shabda, some takaranta pulling and read how it runs, and then apply that for gatavan also. Because the pratipadika is gatavat. After the participle application, the form is gatavat. The pratipadika is the stem of the noun. Then you have to apply the supratyayas to it according to the anta. If it is takaranta, you have to go to the takaranta table and apply like that. Okay? That's what they have explained. Some of them generate indeclinable participles, so they can be used in both active and passive voice without any change in form. That's what they're saying. Participles formed in sentences 4, 5, 6, and 7 are declined in all genders, numbers, and cases because they produce proper subantas. Okay, the pratipadika is a proper subanta, not an avyaya, so you need to decline it. So you have to do gatavan, gatavati, all those forms. So
but
they have given
these van pratyayas, like if you say balakaha patitavan, though it is a nama padam in a certain sense because it's kridan, it does the work of a kriya padam, right?
Correct. It is holding the action sense, but it becomes what you call not the dominant kriya pada of the sentence. It becomes a subservient kriya pada. Can you say that? It's not no more a kriya pada. It is still a kriya indicator. Let's say it's still a kriya vachaka. I hesitate to call it kriya pada because kriya pada is a very technical term. Okay, only tingantas are kriya padas. Okay, so it becomes a kriya vachaka. Okay, but it is a namapada. Am I making sense?
Yes, so there could be a visheshyam.
Yes, it can be sometimes a visheshya, visheshana, all those things. Sometimes it is a visheshana. Yeah.
When you say Rama patitavan asti.
Patan asti.
Asti.
If you don't need asti, but it's a adhyahrta. The difference between Ramaha patitavan asti and Ramaha patan asti is this. Ramaha patitavan asti means he has read.
Asti.
Madam, asti can be still used. It is what you call, see, he is very correct. Just slowly listen. Every sentence has to have a kriya pada. There is no sentence without a kriya pada. You get it? But you can say some sentences without kriya pada mentioned. That's called elision or disappearing of the kriya pada for practical purposes. Okay. Saha Ramaha. He is Rama. In English, we don't say he Rama. We say he is Rama because the English grammar doesn't permit you to it doesn't permit you to elide the is. Okay. Sanskritam permits you to elide the is in Sanskritam. Saha Ramaha asti is the full sentence. Okay. Yeah. Nobody says Saha Ramaha asti. Everybody says Saha Ramaha because the elision of asti is understood. Not that it is gone, it has just not been mentioned. Okay, it is not gone, it is there. It is there in the mind of the speaker, it is there in the mind of the listener, but it is elided from the usage. Okay, all right. So same way, Ramaha Gatavan is an elided sentence. Ramaha Gatavan asti is the unelided sentence. Okay, Rama is a fellow who has gone, is the sense that it gives. Okay, so asti is there, Rama is gone is the translation. Okay, Rama is a gone fellow. That is the translation, Butler English. Okay, but in
would you use
normally,
asit or asti?
asit also can be used, asti also can be used. If he is still living, Hopefully, you can use asti. If he is not anymore living, you can use asit. Both are allowed. Okay? The color is slightly different. Ramah gatavan asit. Rama had gone. Ramah gatavan asti. Rama had gone and is still there. That sense is there. Okay. It's colorful, Sanskritam. Okay, I think we are really out of time. So now what you guys have to do, I am not going to walk you through all the dhatus. You guys have to put in the time, go, if possible, write down the pat dhatu forms, compare it with it to see how this dhatu looks. You know, in the book, you can flip the pages and look. Okay, and see how.
Pratipadikam pat dhatu gat.
Sir, can you repeat your question?
Gatavat, you said that Pratipadikam form of gachati.
Gam dhatu, yes.
Pat dhatu.
Pat dhatu, patat.
Patat, okay.
For the similar thing.
Okay.
Patitavan, patitavati, patitam, like that. Patat or something like that is the. Don't quote me, but something like that. Okay.
Okay.
Mahoday.
Patitavat, it may be, who knows, patitavan, patitavat. I think it sounds like patitavat. Sorry, it's not patat, it is patitavat. So patitavat goes to patitavan, patitavati in Pullinga Strilinga. Yes, question?
For the Lyabant form, the meaning of the Lyabant words are very different from the root meaning. Do you have any trick on how to remember it?
No. Lyabanta, see, lyap. Prakshalya, having washed, agatya, having come. Nothing, there is not like a variation, right? Why you are saying it is different from dhatu?
Yeah,
dhatu sense is never gone. The sense of the dhatu is not gone from the word, okay? Dhatu's original intent is not gone. Like somebody asked the question, only it becomes a non-dominant verb. That's all in the sentence.
Like for example, Mahoday, ni is to lead or to take along, but praniya is having composed.
Madam, pra is causing the variation. Okay, very correct. Lyabanta is applied when there is an upasarga. Okay, and tvanta is applied when there is no upasarga. I haven't come to that lesson part yet, but so, gatva and agatya. Let us look at what is there on the screen. Gatva, gam dhatu, but you cannot say gatya. Gatya is illegal. Gatya is allowed only when there is a gam dhatu has a prefix like vi, some whatever prefix that is vigatya, something like that, if there is a meaning to that. And upasargas are little gahana. Upasargas, you cannot fix their meaning very easily. You cannot say a upasarga always is giving the same sense in every verb. No. Okay, it's a little contextual. They are a little bit gahana. It takes practice to understand the upasarga. Upasarga's meaning is known along with the dhatu only, not otherwise. Okay. And so the upasarga is causing the variation. Did you catch what I am trying to say?
Yes, and sometimes that's confusing because then that word becomes very different from the root itself.
Correct, madam.
Like parihritya,
like I told you,
it's like avoiding.
Yes. There is no what you call easy template available for upasarga to say upasarga means this. If I have to list all the possible English implication of an upasarga, you will find 5 to 6 words emerge on the right hand side column when I have to list it. Okay. For the simple upasarga, 5-6 meanings may emerge depending on the dhatu. And you may find one meaning that has emerged for one dhatu is available with another upasarga for another dhatu also. Okay. So gahana, upasargas are little tough. Okay. It will take time. Don't get flustered by that. Over time, it's not like you're going to use all the so many upasargas. I forget the number, some 20 odd upasargas, if I remember right. There's even a verse to recite them. So the upasargas, they will generate slightly different meanings in different dhatus. But largely, it's not like very common to have deviation. Largely, they try to bring similar sense in most dhatus. Okay. But it does change the dhatu quite a bit. For example, gam dhatu, gacchati, agacchati. Okay, goes, comes. In English, it's a complete different dhatu. Go and come is different dhatu. In Sanskritam, the gam dhatu reverses the direction easily with the a pratyaya. Okay, same thing happening in gatva and agatya. Gatva is having gone, agatya is having come. Right? The dhatu with its upasarga has the same sense regardless of the lyabanta. Lyabanta is changing it to a past complete form, having come, like that. Okay, I think we will conclude today. So what we are left with is Kavya Katha and some Anvaya Krama. So hopefully in the next lesson we will go do that. So like I told you, we may be able to cover a few lessons, so you cannot entirely depend on me for covering every lesson. What I am trying to show is a direction. Okay, and if very much required, we will see if we can increase the number of slots later on for those who desire that. But for now, so let's call it a day. Sorry, I have taken enormous amount of your time. I thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
A brilliant class, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Dhanyavadas.
With a prarthana, let us end. Let us. You can all do Sahana Bhavatu with me. Sahana
Bhavatu, Sahanau Bhunattu,
Sah Veeryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti. Dhanyavadah Chatraha. I will send the recording link. Let's meet again tomorrow 2:30. Tomorrow 2:30 the class. Okay. Not 11 o'clock. 2:30.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Dhanyavadas.
Dhanyavadas.
Dhanyavadas.